Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. How are you guys doing? I do apologize for being late. Let me tell you my sob story. I was actually set to be on time. I was set up. I'm sitting here, and then I press the key on my Stream Deck to make my screen go blank, like this. Press that, and nothing happens. So I had to unplug my Stream Deck. That didn't fix it. So then I had to reset my stupid Streamlabs, and that's why I was late. So, thanks, technology. Yeah. So anyway, that's how that's going today. How are you guys doing? I'm so happy to be here. Happy to be doing this show. Had a decent day. We've got some fun stuff to cover. We've got a whiskey review. We've got, and we're going to follow that up with a little bit of talk about my channel strike on my other channel, which is great. So much fun to have that. And then we're going to talk about Melinda Scott versus Janny Jersh. So that's what we're going to do. Okay? Hey, what's up, Uncivil Law? You hate everyone, you hate me? Great. Feelings mutual, buddy. What's up, buddy? What's going on? Why are you hating things? What's shaking? What's life? What's life? What it is? Let me show you guys So this is a whiskey. I went to a different liquor store than I normally go to. It's a bigger store, and they have about the same size whiskey selection, but they have different stuff. So I like to go by there every now and then. And then here is what I got. Peat Monster Arcana. A limited edition Peat Monster. Now, Peat Monster is a peaty Islay whiskey. I've never had it. I've only heard reviews of it. And this is heavy on peat and smoke. Normally. Now, this is a special edition of it, which consequently makes it a little bit more expensive. But apparently, it's aged part-time in custom French oak casks. I don't know what that's supposed to do to it. But yeah, so look at this. Look at this bottle art. We got this weird tree sitting up here with a mouth on it. This is a blended whiskey. I typically drink single malts, but this is a blended whiskey. And they've got a couple different ones, and we'll talk about what they are. I'll read the whole thing. I'm really curious about this whiskey, so I'm looking forward to it. Where'd he go? Oh, that sounds truly horrible. Oh no, Uncivil, you gotta like a peaty Scott. Like, wait a minute. I'm going to call you out on this, Uncivil. You're in my chat right now, and you are telling me that you are a fiery ball of hatred, and yet you don't like peaty, smoky whiskeys? Wait a minute. I'm doubting your rage credentials right now. I'm doubting that. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. And wait, how can you be mad? Texas is opening up. You're going to be free again. No masks, no business restrictions. Literally everything is going to be open and you're out here being mad. I'm up here in Communistan with snow all over the ground. I still can barely go to a restaurant and you're going to be mad? Your governor finally got over his scoliosis or whatever, stood up out of his wheelchair and fixed the world. And you're mad? Oh, now I'm angry. Now I'm angry. Now I'm mad. Now I'm mad at you. So, anyway, whoa, we got some chats to go through. Got a big one that just came in. Let me get through the first one that YouTube does this new thing where it removes the early chats. But we want to make sure and get those early chats here while I'm thinking about it. Supers. Okay, we've got from Andrew War Snowboard. Says, would you be interested in covering the sexual harassment allegations against former Cleveland Indians pitching coach Mickey Callaway? Well, are they funny? Maybe. I'm not opposed to it. Can you DM me some of the information? I'll take a look. You know where to find me, man. You know where to find me. Did YouTube just delete your chat for saying orgies? God, YouTube is such a chump right now. Oh my gosh. Very, very frustrating. Wait, so all I got from Uncivil Law is that he's mad because of orgies. That's all I know here. We've got him on the record now. Next. We can get rid of that. We've got Bad Vibe says, hey, Nick, would it be considered assault to throw quarters at ugly strippers? No, that's just income. That's fine. Lost Bullets says, now, Ron, you described going down on Monica's getting a moldy sandwich from Arby's dipped in expired blue cheese and ranch dressing, right? Gonna need a sample for trial. That's horrible. Why would you say stuff like that? God. Lone Wolf Otaku with a giant chat. Thank you so much. He says, hail, Nick. It's my birthday today. Well, happy birthday, Lone Wolf. I was born in Texas on Texas Independence Day. Keep making the great content. I'm about to bust open a bottle of Deanston Highland Single Malt. Cheers. Ooh, enjoy that. Enjoy that. Insert here says, if you could legally kill one person, who would it be? If I could legally kill one person, who would it be? Ooh, that's a good question. Who would that be? Oh, that's the next person who calls me to tell me that my computer is locked up with spyware and they need me to sit down at my computer and help fix it. That's who it is. Whoever that guy is. Whoever that guy is from the fake country of Indiastan. Fenrir Lyko says, I'm from Texas and got the best birthday gift. The announcement of going back to normal. Thank God. Take a shot for me. By the way, how are the lemon pens? If you ever have issues with them, let me know and I'll try and fix them. No, they're great. They're great. Very nice pens. They function very well. I don't use them too often. I don't have to use pens very often right now. Thank God. Thank God. But when I do, they always work. So thank you. All right. It's time. It's time for the Peat Monster. So, just so you guys know, I announced yesterday, and I will continue announcing a couple things. Friday, there will not be a show Friday night. It's not going to happen. There won't be one. I will be chaperoning children. So, that's going to happen. Just know that I will be cold. I'll be cold as we're going to winter camp. I'm not sure who thought winter camp was a good thing, but that's what I'm doing. So, I won't be with you, and I will be cold. But that is the job of a dad from time to time. So that's Friday. Friday, there will be no show. I will be on Eric Hunley's show at 11 a.m. Central Time on Friday, however. So that's going to happen. What else is going on? Oh, yes. Locals. Locals.com. Actually, I think it's rekietalaw.locals.com. Yes. Is almost operational. It's almost, there's content actually going up on there now. Right now it has all of the stream announcements and stuff like that. So that is there. Exclusive locals content is coming. I'm waiting to do that till I work out the tier system and what that looks like. But locals is on the way. You can go follow for free right now. I would recommend that you do it. And then, exclusive content for people who are on Patreon or Subscribestar. There will be deals for you guys to easily move to locals. And you'll probably get like a month free or something like that. Some sort of promo to make it, very, very easy to transition over to locals. Much easier than transitioning in real life, which involves surgery, recovery, and a lot of bleeding. So, moving to locals will be much easier, and that'll be a good thing. Once that's rolled out, hopefully soon. I would love to have it done this week, in all honesty, but we'll see if we can get that to happen. But that is happening. But go sign up now. If you want to wait to do the membership sign up, just hold off, and I will be sending out promo codes and inviting people on and all that stuff. I really want to get a nice community over there, and I want to move it off of these other platforms. The first video that's going up, we'll talk about this for just a second. The first video that's going up on locals is almost uploaded. It's at 91%. The problem is it's 23 gigabytes, so it'll be up in about 15 minutes. It is the CPAC live stream from Trump Day. From Sunday, the CPAC live stream. When I uploaded it to my archive channel, it was channel struck. It's still up on this channel. So I don't know what's up with that, but it was channel struck on my archive channel, and so it will be up on locals. It's an 8-hour-long live stream, but content is going to be mirrored on locals, like all of it will be there. So nothing will be destroyed by the censorship of YouTube. So that's that. That's that. So you can always, pretty soon you'll be able to find all of the content on locals. All of it. Everything. Going forward. The back catalog is going to take some time. But going forward, everything will be up there, hosted independently. So it's not like you're going to locals and going to a YouTube link to watch it. It's hosted natively on the platform. So it'll all be there, and it'll be theoretically immune. YouTube content will not stop. No. It will be a backup, and it will, most importantly, locals is going to have exclusive content that you cannot get here on YouTube. That is the most important part of what locals is. There will be exclusive stuff over there. And once they implement live streaming, we'll have multi-streaming to here and to locals, so that so that exists. But again, that's all coming in the future. So, they don't actually have live streaming set up just yet. But here it's just like maybe a couple months out. But yeah, any unpopular opinions will be on locals. You know, plus just kind of funny, short, daily stuff is the idea. A little bit less formalized. If I just have a thought about something that's a couple minutes, probably pop up on locals. Woo! Oh my. That's Petey. We're going to get there in just a minute. But yeah, so that's what's going on with locals. You're going to hear a lot of encouragement from me to sign up for it because I think I like it. I don't really push the Patreon and Subscribe Star very often, much to the chagrin of moderators and people on Patreon and Subscribe Star, but I will be pushing locals because I believe in the product and the platform. Which if you don't realize, by me saying that, it's basically like I'm trying to get locals killed because anything I like gets killed immediately. Which is why, you know, like, that's why I don't like my cats. Because if I liked my cats, they'd get eaten by something. Can we tell Dr. Seuss jokes on locals? Yes. Yes. Yes, you can. Why did you get censored? Where? Where did you get censored? I don't know. I have the moderation settings everywhere as low as they go. Is that Compass Box Peat Monster? It's Compass Box Peat Monster Arcana. So, can you say gamer words there? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. What is the problem with Subscribe Star? Nothing's inherently a problem with Subscribe Star, but I would like to consolidate all things onto one platform that actually wants me there, and that's locals. Rather than on platforms that don't have any interest in what I do, or helping me grow or build a community. So, locals, real quick, Diamond Duck says, what is locals? Locals is like if you mix a Facebook private group, that's kind of the format of it. You mix that with Patreon, for lack of a better comparison. But it's a private community, semi-public community, and you can have everybody can view public stuff, but you can also put stuff into the participant tiers as well. And other people can contribute to it. So it's not just like I post stuff and people can comment on it. It's a community. So everybody in it can post and interact and stuff like that. So it's cool. Okay. Here we go. This is the Peat Monster Arcana. So we're going to go through the steps here. Is it free? Yeah, it's free. You can go there right now for free and sign up. And there's no charge to you at all. If you want to pay, you can. If you want to have access to it, to higher level stuff, you can. There you go. All right, so this is very heavy on the peat. Very heavy. Kind of smells like the ground from a swamp. It doesn't have a heavy alcohol smell. I mean, you can smell it in there. It's 46% alcohol. Doesn't have a heavy alcohol smell. Okay. It's not as smoky as like a Lagavulin. Very heavily peated, though. Really heavily. Like chewing up grass. Mixed with dirt. Maybe a decomposing body or two. Pretty good stuff. It's bitter. But that's how these kind of whiskeys go. You have to kind of like that. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, a lot of peat. A lot of peat. It tastes like Washington. Yeah. It tastes like Lincoln Park in Baltimore with all the bodies decomposing in it. So there you go. I like it. I don't know. I don't know if other people would. It's not a whiskey I'd recommend to someone out there. Like, people like, hey, what kind of whiskey you wanna? What should I try? Not this one. Don't try it. Don't try it at all. You're gonna hate it. But if you like this kind of stuff, it is pretty good. Ever had the Octomore whiskey range by Brickolatic? No. No, I'll try it though if I can find some. So yeah, this stuff is let me tap this off before I spill it all over the keyboard. It says, what is the arcana of whiskey making? We use the term to refer to the secret and mysteries of cask maturation. As new questions regarding oak and the aging process continually arise, arcana can imply information withheld, but we don't believe in keeping secrets about the whiskeys we make. We will always be as transparent as possible for those who wish to know. Peat Monster Arcana investigates how smoky whiskey interacts with French oak. This isn't that smoky to me. We began with a cask strength version of the Peat Monster, our blend of smoky malt whiskeys, which we then filled into 3 once used casks fitted with heavily toasted French oak heads. Following extended aging, we discovered that 2 of the casks imparted extra creaminess and a toasty spice, while the contents of the third became fruitier and chocolatey. To build upon the curious influence of these refilled custom casks, we have used malt whiskeys never seen in the Peat Monster before. The majority of the recipe comprises waxy and delicately smoky malt whiskeys from the Talisker distillery, while small amounts of malt whiskey from the Ardbeg and Miltonduff distilleries lend flavors of terry peat and a charming fruitiness, respectively. Peat Monster Arcana has more oaky frame than the Peat Monster, with a subtler smokiness. Well, yeah, there you go. Like I said, not very smoky. No, it may be inspired by the arcane. Like all of our whiskeys, its intended purpose is perfectly straightforward. Above all, share and enjoy. So it's 71.4% of Talisker in a refill hogshead cask. It's 10.4% Miltonduff Distillery in a first fill bourbon barrel. 9.4% of Peat Monster blended whiskey in a refill custom French oak barrel with heavy toast. Not light toast, apparently. 6.7% of Ardbeg in recharred barrel. 2.1% of Highland malt blend in a custom French oak barrel with heavy toast. So that's what this is. If that means anything to you, it doesn't mean jack to me. But that's what it says. I don't know. That's that. So, guys, Ty sent me a video today. Should we watch this video that Ty sent me? And then we can do the whiskey, the Melinda stuff. I don't know how long the show's going to go tonight. It might be kind of a shorter show, but we'll see. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is a video of a fight, which is always good to watch. Fight for the fight gods. Where is my stream? Oh my gosh. Here we go. We got a 58-second long fight here. How does the Peat Monster compare to Laphroaig Quarter Cask? Let me be honest about this whiskey. So this bottle of whiskey is about $100, and a Laphroaig Quarter Cask is like 70. I'd buy the Laphroaig over this. That's the honesty there. Wolfgang Deo says, I bet Mr. K is too much of a little bitch to respond via super chat now. Ha ha ha. And yes, I really, really want to be petty. Ha ha ha. Love you, Nick. Keep being awesome. I don't know what's going on with you and Mr. K, but if it involves me getting money, I'll take it. All right, so apparently this is a fight between some Oklahoma college football player and like an OSU guy, I guess, and then some MMA guy. I don't know. I don't know who. I don't know what. Let me. Let me get this all set up. So I haven't watched this. Ty was telling me about it on the phone earlier. So we'll see how it goes. Are you guys ready? You guys ready for this? Let's see this. Okay, so real quick, the big guy here is Spencer Jones, I'm guessing. This is the MMA fighter. He's already got a bloody nose. So something's going on with that. I don't know what it is. Yeah, Daniel Cadella, you like that? It's because I've been wearing headphones so damn much that I can't actually like get the hair to flow naturally anymore. The headphones have creased it. So I gotta now try and find time to get in for a haircut. It's annoying. All right, here we go. Hey, put the fuck out. Get out of here. Oh!
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit, young blood. Oh, shit. Hey. Hey, he ain't fucking around, cuz. He got his nobody coming back, bro. Hey.
I like this guy with the drink like,
funny,
nah, I'm out.
bro. Hey, guillotine. Hey, rear naked choke. Tap out, motherfucker. Wrestling match. 3, 2, 1.
Uh-oh. Oh!
Oh! Shit, bro.
Oh, damn.
Y'all motherfuckers ain't playing around. Bro.
Whoa! You definitely don't want to get your face slammed into a concrete wall. Ow! Oh! Oh my goodness. That, whew! Oh, that was good. That was good. So I don't know what the genesis of this was. I have no idea. But what I do know is I just watched an MMA guy who clearly has some level of talent beat the ever-loving hell out of a guy who has a height and weight advantage on him. One of the two football guys had to have their eye socket reconstructed. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. You definitely, man, I'm telling you, the thing I have found out in my life more than anything else is I am way too old to have my ass body slammed into a puddle of urine in a damn bar bathroom. What are you doing? Where is your life going that you're getting in a fight in a bar? Oh, we're going to play it again. We're going to play it again. We got to get some criticism on the techniques here. So here we go.
Look at me. Look at me, bitch. Hey, boys. Hey, get out of here. Oh, what you got? Hey, put the phones away. Knock the fuck out. Get out of
here. Okay. That's where your friend is asshole. Do you notice this? Let's back this up. We gotta break this down. So he's saying, hey, look at me. This guy's just sitting here or whatever, getting yelled at by the tall boy. All right. He's saying, look at me. And then if you notice, a shove comes. The guy's not looking at him, and the shove comes, but the shove isn't from the guy. It's from the other guy. It's from the guy in back. That's who does the shove there.
Put the phones away. Knock the fuck out. Get out of here.
And then, hold on. I got to get the shove in there.
Hey, boys. Hey, get out of here. What you got?
There it is. So it's from the other guy. So this guy he's not even, he's going to eat shit for what his stupid friend does. That's great. And so then,
hey, put the phones away. Knock the fuck out.
There's a slap. So my theory on this is simple. He throws that slap because this football player is a big guy, plays football, probably never really been messed with and confronted because, big football players going to be surrounded by a lot of other football players. They're all big guys. You really don't want to get in a tussle with football players throughout high school and college because you're going to get your ass handed to you if you're alone. It's a big mess, right? You just don't want to do it. But he's done. He's done. So he throws this little slap, and I think he knows that slap is going to startle the football player. He's not going to be expecting that. So then he's looking towards that slap because he just got hit. Jarring. Then that right hook comes across right into that cheek. Here, bam!
Oh shit.
And then we got to go back here. I love this. So here's the hits. He goes in for a shoot, and the football player falls right for it. If you know any level of judo and jiu-jitsu like that, I'm gonna try and grab over you. You want to have an underhook grab in there. This guy's going over the top for the grab. He has no idea what's about to happen to him. But he just gave this guy full leverage to scoop him up. Because now he can actually, when a guy goes over your shoulder like that, all you have to do with your arms under him is to sit back. And your hip is going to act as a fulcrum. And this guy's weight is up here, and it's above the fulcrum. So he's going to sit. All he has to do is kind of sit and pull back, and that guy's body weight is going to carry him over. So he's going to now bring him down. And let me tell you, if you're like 220 pounds or whatever, this guy looks pretty big. I'm guessing he's over 200 pounds. It doesn't matter if you're falling 2 feet onto concrete. That's going to still hurt. Waiting for YouTube to catch up here. So that's going to still hurt when he hits the ground. Now he's lucky because he does get kind of held up on his buddy there. So it could have been a lot worse because had he kept going with that momentum, he might have landed on his head or neck rather than on his ribs. But you don't want to land on the ribs. He's probably got the wind busted out of him when he lands.
Oh shit! Oh,
yeah, that's a nasty hit. His arms up still like this, so he's taking all the brunt of that right on his ribs and lats. It's probably knocked the wind out of his lung. He's not happy right now. And what's going to happen next is this guy's going to start raining blows on his face. And he's probably still just trying to figure out how to breathe.
oh shit, buddy! Oh shit, young blood! Oh shit! Hey, hey!
Okay, so he's got his hooks in on the guy right now. He's hooking his feet, the top of his feet to the guy's inner thighs. This is going to prevent him from being able to get his legs, to break up this hold. And then he's got his left arm still in an underhook under the guy's left arm. He's probably worked his right arm up above the other shoulder and is getting in on that choke because he's gonna roll the guy around in just a second and get that rear naked choke in a second. The other guy though is dealing with this guy's brother. From what I hear, it's his brother. So the
fucking around, guys. He got his nobody.
When you're there, by the way, let me just say, when you're there and a guy's got his legs wrapped around your ribs like that, and he's got the feet inside, what he's gonna try and do, if he can't roll you, he'll flatten you out on the floor. So he'll use his legs and extend his back and pull up on your neck. And he'll flatten you out, and that'll get the throat exposed for the choke. It's going to be a messy situation for this guy either way. But once he rolls on his back, it's over anyway. The other guy, it's hard to see what's going on with his grab here. I want to see if he gets an underhook.
Coming back, bro.
He does. Okay, so he was. Sorry, we're gonna EFAP this thing because this is funny to me. It might not be funny to you. He had, if you notice, he had his right arm over the guy's neck and shoulder. That's not a good place for a throw. And he's setting this guy up. So he gets his left arm under the guy's left arm. Now he's transitioned that right arm to an underhook. Now he's going to get the leverage. Same thing as before.
Hey! That's just funny, bro. Hey, guillotine.
Here we go.
Hey, rear naked choke. Tap out, motherfucker. 3, 2, 1.
All right, here we go. Oh, there it is. He's going for a full suplex. So what he did, he created distance. He's got the guy wrapped up. He creates distance by backing up, and then he pulls him in and leans back, fulcrum over his left hip this time. That's going to take this big guy right off his feet with the momentum, and he's going to use that to plow his face into the wall. Oh! Oh! Ah! Oh! I don't know if he knew that wall was there. I don't know if he knew the wall was there at all, but you do not want to have your face driven into a wall. And then he's going to get scraped down the wall and he's going to end up on the floor.
Oh, shit,
He's
bro.
probably out.
Y'all motherfuckers ain't playing around.
My man's feet. You got to watch the guy in the back's feet. Shaking. I don't know if he's trying to get up or if he's spasming. One of those two. Watch his feet.
Y'all motherfuckers ain't playing around. Bro.
Oh wait, no, that's the other guy's feet. That's his feet up here. My bad. I thought it was this guy on the bottom. That's him just, using his feet for leverage to piston punches into this guy's face. All right. Anyway, thank you to Ty Beard. Thank you to Ty Beard for sending that. That is a fuck around and find out moment. That is, you do not want to get your ass kicked in a bar bathroom. You do not want to do that. Not at all. Oh my God. Go fight in the grass. Go fight in the grass. Legal analysis. Yeah, we can do that too. It's hard to tell at this point what's going on. It really depends on what happened beforehand. But from this limited info, what? Hold on, I got a cat in this room. What is this? Get out of there, you dumb. Okay. No, Law Kitty's not on here. So, legal analysis on this is a little tricky since we only have this video of information here. We can check the, all it says is OU football player Spencer Jones picked a fight against a guy with a decade of MMA training at an OU bar this past weekend. That's all we've got for that one. This video is going to get age restricted. This live stream is going to get age restricted, so that'll be fun. But anyway, so based on what we've got here, we've got, let me put the headphones back on. The audio's desynced, but the football player says, "Look at me." Then he says, "Look at me, bitch." This guy's looking away. He's not reacting. He's not engaging.
Hey, boys, hey, get out of here. What you got?
The other guy pushes him. At this point, he has been assaulted, and he's going to respond. Now, so the question is, does he have a justifiable use of force on, does he have a justifiable use of force on the tall football player? Probably. Because even if he, even though he's hitting the wrong guy, making a mistake in defense of yourself is not actually an intentional act of liability towards someone else. So he may be wrong about the target, although the other guy's provoking him anyway, so it's not going to be much help for him in the case. He may be wrong about the target, but if he has a good faith belief that he's not wrong, he's still justified in using that defense.
Hey, put the phones away. Knock the fuck out. Get out of here.
Oh shit, buddy. Oh shit, young blood. Oh,
Every
shit.
time I see this, I'm laughing.
Hey, he ain't fucking around, cuz. He got his nobody coming back, bro. Hey. That's just funny, bro. Hey.
So, this guy on the ground here, allegedly, had his orbital busted. I don't know if it was by a punch or something that happened on the ground, but you can imagine, and he had to have it reconstructed. You can imagine at this point, when he's getting in this choke, his ass is already whooped. Already whooped. And he's now probably trying to live. Like he's in bad shape. Yeah, I love the guy who walks through it casually like, fuck, I'm out of here. I got my drink. He just walked out of the stall with a beverage in his hand. Do you, okay, I need a poll in chat. Do you guys, you're at a bar, you got to go take a piss or whatever. Do you bring your drink into the bathroom to go take a piss? That seems weird to me. I don't get that. Why don't you just finish your drink? I'm seeing a healthy mix of yes and no. I would just finish my drink and get another one when I'm done. Oh, I'm certainly not suggesting you leave your drink and then come back to it. No. I'm just saying, I'm not taking a drink into a bathroom ever. There's got to be so much piss molecules floating around a bar bathroom, I can't even imagine. You're basically drinking a bunch of vaporized urine when you leave that bathroom. That's gross to me, man. I'm not. They're sterile, bigot. Look, I would never suggest you leave your drink out and return to it. That's crazy talk. But I'm not taking my drink into a bar bathroom. Let me just spray piss all over the room and then drink out of it. No, that's okay. I'm not into that. I'm not into that at all. Okay, so
Yeah, guillotine. Hey, rear naked choke. Tap out, motherfucker.
Wrestling match. 3, 2, 1.
Oh shit, bro. Y'all motherfuckers ain't playing around, bro.
Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Man, that's great. That's so refreshing to see, in all honesty. To see someone get theirs. Look, my ass is too old to get in a fight. Can you do a Jerry Lawler WWE announcer voice for the suplex? No, I don't watch WWE. I haven't watched wrestling in a long time. Where is this? Do you know? It was in Oklahoma. I don't know what city. Wherever Oklahoma University is. The MMA guy said he showed restraint. Oh, yeah. That seems pretty apparent. Look, I mean, you can kill someone real quick. Would Kermit announce this fight? Should we do a Kermit announcement of the fight? This is Norman. I thought that was OSU. I thought Norman was Oklahoma State University. I didn't know where OU was. Okay, well, we'll do it. Okay, we've got Spencer Jones versus MMA Fighter. MMA Fighter is a mysterious man. He's too mysterious to have a name. We don't get to know it, but that'll be fine. Let's check out what's happening on the side. Seems Spencer Jones is offering some taunts towards MMA Fighter.
Get out of here. What you got?
He's avoiding the conflict like some sort of coward. Oh no! He's dropping rights on him like crazy.
Shit.
Oh, he's raining hellfire
buddy.
down on him.
Oh,
he's
shit,
now on the
young
ground,
blood.
rolling around in piss like
Shit.
this Biggie on a Wednesday night.
Hey, he ain't
It's
fucking
disgusting.
around, cuz.
It's terrible.
He got his nobody coming
Oh, the
back,
humanity. Wait, what's going on in the corner over here?
bro.
Last
That's
time I was
just
looking
funny,
into a
bro.
corner, it was
Hey,
three
yeah,
hookers doing
guillotine.
cocaine off of a
Hey, rear
crackhead.
naked choke. Tap out, motherfucker.
Wrestling match.
That was never going to be a guillotine choke. Oh my goodness, he's dead.
Shit, bro.
And it's over.
Y'all
There's
motherfuckers
nothing
ain't
else to
playing
see here, folks. That was a
around.
murder on camera. Okay, there you go, guys. Volume. Oh, was I was too quiet? Sorry, it's hard to be loud as Kermit, actually. Didn't hear you at all? Well, too bad. I'm not doing it over. Okay. Well, if it's too bad. It's too bad. Maybe it'll come through on the recording. Probably not. I should have had the video quieter. Lesson learned. Next time. Next time. Well, send me fight videos. Send me good fight videos, and we'll do them more often. I like looking at them. Legal analysis, though. You know, the bigger guys are provoking the little guy, and they end up hitting him, and it sounds like he had already been punched and was still not fighting. These guys, they got what they deserved. They got what they deserved. Let's see. Okay. Let's get these Melinda Scott documents. I was so happy to see filings from Melinda Scott today. It just makes everything easier when she provides all the content. She's got two documents here. Oops. She's got a response to the motion to dismiss. And then she has a motion for recusal. Which, look, you've got a judge who's already mad at you. A judge who already is tired of your shit. Melinda, you got to learn to read the room, lady. You got to learn to read the room. Oh, hi, Mark. It is... He told you. We'll pull this up real quick, too. The opinion and order that we looked at before, because it's important to realize the context of what Melinda does here. Okay? Let's see. So this is, remember, we had the opinion and order before, in which the judge basically says he's dismissing he's vacating the order for the default judgment. That's vacated. So now is the motion to dismiss, which he took under consideration. So the motion to dismiss, he gave Melinda 14 days to respond to the motion to dismiss, to offer a final response. Now, what I said at the time is this is 14 days for her to give her last best effort at this thing, because he's going to dismiss the case. But he wants to give her every opportunity to make any final legal arguments. That way, he doesn't get some sort of abusive discretion on the dismissal appeal. He's probably already going to get appealed. He knows it. He doesn't care, because the appellate court is not going to entertain this shit either. But he's giving her every opportunity, and he's solidifying his ruling before the appeal. That's why he would give her 14 days to respond. And then his order is going to come pretty quick. So, if you don't know these parties, Melinda Scott is lovingly referred to on the Kiwi Farms as the Mountain Jew. I'm not sure exactly the genesis of that, but that's what she is referred to as. She is alleged to have something like 9 husbands. That may be exaggerated. I don't know. And she is a person who files a lot of lawsuits, and in particular, a lot of lawsuits against Joshua Connor Moon. Now, Joshua Connor Moon is the owner of Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms is a website in which a bulletin board exists, or sort of a forum, I guess. Bulletin board or forum, whatever the kids are calling them these days. And people have discussions on there. However, those discussions sometimes include personal details about people online. So, those personal details can include addresses and stuff like that, traditionally referred to as doxing. Okay? So, since doxing sometimes happens, it makes people mad. 1 second, guys. I gotta check. commotion going on. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Melinda has sued Josh something like 5 times. All right. That's just a riot upstairs, nothing to worry about. Literally, probably true, but I think downstairs. Just a second. I'm making sure I don't have to help. Poor Lady Raggets. I feel bad for her. She's having to deal with kids being pests. Notice it's midnight. The kids should be asleep. But all right, anyway. So, long story short, she's sued Josh 5 times, all about the same stuff. It's all about her info on the forums. That's what's going on. But I want to point out what he ordered here. Here we go. This is the funny order for me. The motion to dismiss by Defendant Moon is taken under advisement. Plaintiff is allowed another opportunity to respond to the motion to dismiss, provided it is filed within 14 days of the date of this order. No motions to strike or other like motions will interrupt the running of the deadline for a response. Melinda has a habit. Melinda has a habit of filing frivolous motions over and over and over again. This is a thing. This is a thing with people who are addicted to lawsuits. Okay? People like Melinda, people like Russell Greer, people like Ray Gordon or whatever. They file a lawsuit and then they think it's a cool thing to try and bog the other party down with a bunch of paperwork and motions. Here's the deal. That can, bog the party down and drive up expenses, but everybody knows that's what it does, including the judge who does this every day. And what it actually serves to do is to piss off the judge. Because all of these motions, the judge has to deal with them too, not just the other party. So when you start filing motion after motion after motion, sure, the other party is obligated to respond to them. But at some point, a judge is going to go, okay, these motions are ridiculous. They have no purpose. They have no merit. And they catch on very quickly to what you're doing. Now, Melinda thinks she's smart and that she's a pro se litigant, which means she represents herself. And she files in forma pauperis, which means the state pays all of her fees, but not her opponent's fees. So she tries to leverage that against people because, frankly, this part of Melinda is awful. And so she's trying to run up Josh's bill. The judge is not having it. So what does she do? Well, she files her response, which we're going to read. And she also files a motion for the judge to recuse himself, which we're also going to read. I'm going to read the motion to recuse first. I'm going to read that first. So this is Melinda Scott versus Wise County Department of Social Services et al. Because she sued some government entities as well as Josh because she keeps trying to do this. She keeps trying to sue other people but include Josh because she thinks that'll get her what she wants. Wait, why does the state pay? Because she is too poor and everyone has a right to sue. So if you are below a certain threshold, you can ask the court's permission to file in forma pauperis. And there's a requirement that needs to be met to file in forma pauperis. You have to have a proven income requirement. And if you're below the income threshold for it, court can grant you to file and then the state will pay because you have a right to engage the legal system. And that right is protected to the point of the state will pay if you can't afford it, because not having the money shouldn't be a barrier to executing your rights, believe it or not. State pays the filing fees. The state pays the service fees. The state will not pay for an attorney for you. They will not pay an attorney for you in civil cases, but they will pay the other stuff. Can you just claim to have no money for these purposes? You have to file your statement of income and assets under oath. So, yeah, you can lie to the court. I wouldn't recommend it. All right, so here we go. Motion to recuse. Comes now the plaintiff and files this motion to recuse. Plaintiff motions that Judge Jones, who has been assigned to the above case, should be recused from the case, should recuse himself, because he is gender biased against the plaintiff, which makes him unable to render an impartial and fair judgment in the case. Oh, this is not going to work, Melinda. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't have it pulled up. There we go. Sorry. I meant to have this on screen. So he is gender biased against the plaintiff, which makes him unable to render an impartial and fair judgment in the case. In his most recent order dated February 16, he cites a number of things that shows he is not applying the federal rules and legal standards of the 4th District with equal weight toward the plaintiff and defendant Moon. The statements which reveal this are listed as follows. One of those conditions is that the private mailbox must be the only address deliverable for the defendant, and if true, service could have been made upon Moon or on any person also residing in that home who is at least 15 years old. The Florida statute 48.0316A does not say that the private mailbox or virtual office must be the only discoverable address. Emphasis added. Florida statute 48.0316A says, if the only address for a person to be served which is discoverable through public records is a private mailbox, virtual office. Emphasis added. It does not say only discoverable address. It says only address for a person to be served, followed by which is discoverable. There is a difference between only discoverable address and only address for a person to be served. So the judge says the private mailbox must be the only address discoverable for the defendant. If the only address for a person to be served, the defendant, which is discoverable through public records, is a private mailbox virtual office. It absolutely says what the judge said. Melinda is making a distinction without a difference. She doesn't get it. Even if defendant Moon would have a residence in Pensacola, Florida, that does not mean this is the best route for Plaintiff Scott to serve him. It doesn't matter if it's the best route. It's the only route. Defendant Moon, as evidenced by his own pleadings, could have made multiple objections to being served at his Pensacola, Florida address. Well, his main objective is that he doesn't live in Pensacola, Florida. That's his main objection. By serving him at his business private mailbox, this eliminates controversy and arguments around his residency. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not at all. See, the problem that you're running into, Melinda, is that there's a rule on how to serve someone who's a private person. And that rule does not include a business private mailbox, except if it's the only discoverable address. But you alleged that he had another address. That's on you. That's your fault. You said he lives in Florida. Now, if you were to try and serve him at this other discoverable address where you say he is, he can object to it if it's not his address. I think he's in, what, Ukraine, Lithuania, some ridiculous foreign nation. I don't even know where he is anymore. It doesn't really matter. Latvia, maybe. Wherever he is, it's not in Pensacola, Florida, according to him. So if you sued him at his Pensacola, Florida address, he would then raise the issue, and then you would prove that he is at his Pensacola address, and he would offer proof that he's not. Bosnia, I don't know where he is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't remember what stupid country he moved to. Okay, so anyway, the judge's own order says, if true. Therefore, while Jones's order acknowledges a debate and controversy around residency, no. If there's a debate and controversy around residency, he hasn't been served and the default is still vacated. You're missing this, Melinda. You're missing this. He denies that treating Defendant Moon as a business and serving him at his business address is the best form of service to avoid wasting judicial resources and everyone's time arguing about residency. You're not suing the business, dummy. You're not suing the business. You're suing the individual. If you were suing the business, you would sue them via their registered agent. That's who you'd serve on the business. You didn't do that. You sued Joshua Moon, not Lolcow Inc., not Moon Farms, not Kiwi Farms. You sued Joshua Moon, not a business. That means that you're under the rules for individual service. I know this is hard, not because you're not a lawyer, but because you're an idiot. There's no nice way to say it anymore. These are basic rules. Arguing about residency isn't wasting time. It's seeing if the court even has jurisdiction over the case. Additionally, he fails to acknowledge the plaintiff's duty to serve the summons and complaint in a timely manner. Nope. Thus necessitating service at a place not involving residency controversy. Residency controversy is not an acceptable reason to not effect service properly. Residency controversy is something that comes later. That's a different thing. Effecting service properly is the critical element of starting the lawsuit. If you don't effect service, the other party isn't served, which means they're not in the suit, which means the case shouldn't even happen. This has gone way too far already. The judge actually kind of owes Joshua Moon a little bit of an apology in a way. Not really, but you misrepresented service to the court. And the court took your word on it. And now Josh is out X amount of thousands of dollars paying a lawyer to defend against a lawsuit that is on its face frivolous, and the court should have dismissed sua sponte anyway. You've been indulged. As noted in several of Plaintiff Scott's pleading, which Judge Jones elected to overlook, Defendant Moon advertised online that he should be served at that private mailbox. No. That's how you should send things to Kiwi Farms, not Josh Moon. And he even told New Zealand law enforcement that that is where he was to be served, as noted in the plaintiff's pleadings. He told New Zealand law enforcement that's where Kiwi Farms was to be served, because they were asking for information from Kiwi Farms, not from Joshua Moon. Oh, you're so dumb. You're so dumb. The legal standards of the 4th District are not being applied equally to the plaintiff. Instead, Defendant Moon's advertising publicly of his private mailbox for service is being permitted as a form of avoiding service. When a defendant has avoided service by manipulative means, the legal standard in the 4th District is to permit a plaintiff service by any other means of service that it deems appropriate in the circumstances and reasonably calculated to give actual notice. She has not requested alternative service. This is why she's so baffling. She could have done this if she had requested alternative service. Then Josh would have to fight against the request for alternative service. Court doesn't have to grant it, but she didn't even ask. Now she's saying that the court didn't give it to her. You didn't ask. This is not a standard being applied or extended to the plaintiff. Moreover, there is no evidence that the private mailbox did its duty or that Moon actually received the summons and complaint. This statement is so absurdly prejudicial to the plaintiff. U.S. Marshal's own signature is the evidence that the private mailbox did its duty to receive the mail. That's not the duty he's talking about. He's talking about forwarding the mail. The legal standard of the 4th District, after being served by a U.S. Marshal, is not that the plaintiff should prove defendant Moon received the summons and complaint. The legal standard for the 4th District is that the defendant must prove that he didn't get the summons and complaint. He did. He proved it. He said, I didn't get it. They didn't send it to me. I had no notice of this. Plus, this isn't proper service for an individual. There's that one too that we're going to keep having to come back to because, again, it's the critical element to this is, did you get properly served? If you didn't get properly served. What is this about the 4th District? This is this is U.S. District Court for the Western District of Virginia. I don't know if that's the 4th District. I mean, it is the 4th Circuit. Let's see. Western District of Virginia. Let's see. Is there an about? Yeah, I think she's just calling it the 4th District. She means 4th Circuit, but it doesn't really matter. The judge knows what she's talking about. She's the only one who doesn't know what she's talking about here. Okay, anyway, back to this. This legal standard was outlined in several of the plaintiff's motions and memorandum of law. When there is service based upon Rule 4C3, the burden of proof is on the defendant, not the plaintiff. There wasn't service. That's what she's missed here. There was never service. The plaintiff has already provided this court with a statement from the U.S. Marshal's own signature that service was effectuated pursuant to Rule 4C3. No, the U.S. Marshal's signature just says what he did, which was deliver it to an electronic mailbox employee. That doesn't mean that service was effectuated. Next quote, there is no evidence that the plaintiff has been subjected to legal prejudice or that any other factors point to fault on Moon's part. Again, true. The legal standard in the 4th District is that when a defendant has a constructive notice of the lawsuit, they're required to act. Nope. Legal standard was outlined in the plaintiff's memorandum of law. The plaintiff notated several places in her pleadings that the defendant had notice of the lawsuit even before he was served. She misread this again. The judge actually went through this last time. It is absolutely legal prejudice against plaintiff to tell her that she does not need the court's permission to engage in discovery. And then flip the script and deny her motion to compel upon a defendant who has information about John Doe's 1 through 3 and Jane Doe 1 in order to serve them. This is different than what you're arguing here, honey. It's glaringly obvious that these contradictory approaches with double standards between the female plaintiff Scott and male defendant Moon are due to gender bias in favor of the defendant and defendant's counsel on the basis of their gender. Melinda Scott is out here arguing that women are dumber than men. That's what she's arguing. That's what Melinda is arguing right now. I don't know why she's like this, but this in no way would rise to any level of sexism or gender discrimination from a judge. She would have to show an actual record of disparate treatment. She hasn't received any. In fact, she's received deferential treatment up until now. Wherefore, Judge Jones should recuse himself from this case if he cannot render an impartial and fair judgment based on the rules and legal standards of the 4th District, instead of ruling upon gender bias in favor of a male attorney Hardin and male defendant Moon. I motion for this. Yeah, okay. First of all, she doesn't need the court's permission to engage in discovery. You made a motion to compel, and he said no. Let's see. Second motion to compel production from defendant Joshua Moon is denied. There you go. That's it. He denied the motion. You still can engage in discovery. Your motion to compel is denied. So you can still send your discovery requests. You might be able to file a subsequent motion to compel, but you didn't meet the legal standard for a motion to compel. That's all this means. He might have addressed it more thoroughly in the thing, but that's all that was. That's fantastic. She's arguing that the judge needs to recuse himself because he's sexist. And then she says, he's sexist because he ruled against me and for them. Strong theory. Strong theory. She is allowed to file other things. They just don't interfere with the timeline. Some noob. But that line about not interfering with the timeline, that was... So judges do this from time to time. They drop a hint for you. They let you know how things are going. They let you know how things are, how you're doing. And if a judge says, look, any of these other motions, and look how he words it. No motions to strike or other like motions will interrupt the running of the deadline for a response. None of this other stuff you're doing. Because she doesn't know how to title motions. Like, that's been a recurring theme over and over through here. She's not really good at titling her motions or filing the right thing. So he says, look, no motions to strike or anything even like that are going to interrupt or interfere with this. That's his little subtle indication. You need to stop. You need to stop and focus on the issue. I'm telling you exactly the one thing you're supposed to do, and it's file this response. That's it. Don't file anything else. I don't want to read anything else. You're already on thin ice. Get out of my courtroom. File the one thing, and then we'll figure this out. And I hope you've got a legal argument. If you don't have a good legal argument, we're going to have trouble. All right. Plaintiff response to motion, defendant's motion to dismiss. All right. So comes now the plaintiff by order of this court on February 16th and elects to file a response to defendant's motion to dismiss and states as follows. Argument. All right. Let's go to basic legal writing class. Okay? Let's go to basic legal writing class. Legal writing has a very simple format with an acronym because lawyers are gay for acronyms. They love them and they put them in everything that they can. All right? It's called IRAC. IRAC. All right? Intro, rule, argument or analysis, and conclusion. That's it. It's really simple. Every single issue that you deal with in a lawsuit should follow this format. Every single section, every single argument that you make should have an introduction. So first, you've got your introduction to the main document. Then you're going to go to, and you're going to lay out the format of the document. Then you're going to go into each issue. And you're going to lay out the issue or the introduction to the issue. That's the I. Then you're going to lay out the applicable rule. That's the R. Then you're going to give an argument or analysis of the rule and the facts. And then you're going to give a conclusion. It's very repetitive. It's very boring, but it's very thorough and it's very straightforward. All right? There's no wiggling. So she's already on the wrong track here. She's making an argument and she hasn't told the judge what the issue is or what rule exists that supports her argument. Now, Melinda is supposedly a paralegal or did some paralegal schooling. I don't know what they do at paralegal school because I went to law school, but I imagine that they don't teach them a different form of legal writing than Iraq. Everywhere teaches this. Everywhere. Because it's the format. Judges want to read something simply. They want to know what's involved. Then they want to know what the rule is. They want the lawyer to tell them. And then they want to apply the facts to the rule. Very, very simple. And then they want a summary at the end. For every issue they want. Because it's easy. And when you're dealing with like a 400-page document, what you want to do is you want to be able to go to the beginning of the section that you're dealing with and go, okay, I've got 100 pages here. I want to go to this section on negligent infliction of emotional distress. And then I want you to tell me all of the elements of negligent infliction of emotional distress and then apply the facts to the law. That's what I want. I don't want anything else. I don't want any meandering stuff. I don't want to talk about intentional infliction. I don't want to talk about negligent supervision. I don't want to talk about wrongful death. This section, I want this. I want it laid out here because I'm going to have an analysis of this section, and I'm going to have my clerk and me, we're going to dig into the other cases that are cited, and we're going to see if this is right. That's what they want to do. So she's starting off with an argument. I don't know what this is about. I know it's a response to the motion to dismiss. Why shouldn't the dismissal be granted? It should be your first thing. This motion to dismiss is ridiculous on its face because of these things, which we're going to talk about. Then you go, first thing, as mentioned above, this motion to dismiss is untimely. And then the rule is motion to dismiss must be filed within X amount of days according to rule blah, 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 blah. Then the analysis. This motion to dismiss was filed on this date. The rule said this, and that means that we're outside of this timeline. It's very simple, very straightforward, and very, very clear. Let's go on. Sorry, I'm ranting about this because it's drilled into you. This is the only way you're supposed to do this stuff. I'm sure Law Macaw and anyone else who's been to any law school will know this pretty quickly. Firstly, it's just first, the plaintiff denies that there's any bad faith behavior on her part. Just jumping in here. Just jumping in. Defendant Moon actually did the things plaintiff described in all of her complaints between 2017 and 2020. At the beginning, how many lines in are we? 4? We're 4 lines in and she's defeated her own motion. Okay? So in the judge's order before, he talks about how it kind of looks like, and this is what Josh's lawyer brought up as well. It kind of looks like what Melinda is doing is that she's suing Josh based on old things. These are not new claims. These are claims that she's already sued him over 5 times. She's already... Oh my God. Will you stop spamming? Okay. She's already sued him for these things 5 times. Which means they're already done. These issues are finished. They were dismissed with prejudice before. So if she opens up by admitting that she's suing him based on these same things, it's already defeating her case. All right. However, the plaintiff denies that she stated in her complaint of 2020 or similar subsequent filings in this case that she is suing defendant Moon for anything other than conduct between July 9th, 2018 and July 8th, 2020. This is her legal right for a tort within a statute of limitations of 2 years. In fact, that is what she stated in her response, that it was for conduct between July 9th and July 8th. These accusations of bad faith against the plaintiff are a repeated attempt by the defendant to minimize and deny his outrageous, extreme, uncivil, and abusive behavior toward the plaintiff. Clearly, the plaintiff would seek damages. Clearly, the value and importance of the United States Constitution requires a high amount of damages for constitutional violations. He can't have a constitutional violation. He's just a weirdo with a website. He's not a state actor. He's not a state actor. Although one could make the case that a price cannot be put on the priceless existence of constitutional rights and the right to be free of psychological attack, IIED, which is intentional infliction of emotional distress, the United States of America has created laws by which one person may hold another accountable for uncivil and outrageous behavior perpetuated on one citizen by another. First of all, uncivil and outrageous behavior is not a legal standard for any claim of recovery at all. So again, she's wandering here because she hasn't followed the format. I'm not a conformist in any way at all. You know what I conform to, though? The IRAC standard of legal writing. Because you have to. By the way, guys, hat tip to the mods for taking care of obnoxious spammers in the chat. I have poured this shot of Compass Box Peat Monster Arcana. I would love it if you would allow me to take that shot by hitting us up to 1,000 likes. We're running behind on likes. We're running ragged today. But if you want to hit that, go ahead and do so. Where else can you have permission to hit something just because you want to? Here's where we do that. So her argument here is, I thought this is America. Plaintiff Scott also denies that she has suffered any embarrassment for holding defendant Moon accountable, even if it resulted in prior dismissals. Okay. It is this very thing, accountability, that defendant Moon does not want. He believes he is the one that is invincible. He has run to and fro from residences and hides the information of others who do his dirty work. They hide from legal accountability behind IP addresses. Whoa! Don't hide behind an IP address, scumbags. Let's see. Defendant Moon has tried to manipulate the court system to publicly advertise a business address and then claim it is improper service. You're not suing the business. Why is this so hard for you? He has repeatedly tried to shame the plaintiff for her challenges and using the legal system to hold him accountable. You deserve it. You actually deserve twice as much shame. You know how I know that? Never mind. That joke's a little spicy. He has even gone so far as trying to strip the plaintiff of her constitutional rights to equal access to the courts. Oh, honey, you've gotten way more than equal access. Your access to the courts is very, very unequal. All of these tactics are tactics done to avoid service and not be accountable for his action. The very language of his website and his counsel's pleadings are proof enough that neither of them want to see defendant Moon accountable for his actions. Well, no, that's my brain just broke. My brain just broke. If your argument is that Josh and his lawyer don't want Josh to be held accountable for his actions, yes. Yeah, that's the point. That's the entire purpose of defense. I don't know what to do. That's the lawyer's job, and it's Josh's interest. Of course he doesn't want to be held accountable for his actions. Defendant's counsel has repeatedly given a narrative of legal action between Plaintiff Scott and Defendant Moon that is inaccurate. Although his superfluous, wordy, and flippant narrative is actually missing many facts. No, he got the important ones. The complaint of, it can be condensed very easily into one major fact. Those cases were dismissed without prejudice. The complaint of 2020 is not barred by collateral estoppel nor res judicata. This court could see that there was a claim, even if it was dismissed upon immunity. Okay. This court demonstrated that if plaintiff was able to bring forth facts that demonstrate that defendant Moon is not immune under CDA Section 230, she should do so. That is exactly what she has done here, with just cause. Okay, I'll take your word for it, Melinda. Sounds good. Sounds good. Plaintiff's statement about defendant Moon having a residence in Pensacola, Florida is not a confession, as counsel Hardin aims to portray it. Oh, it is. The funny thing is, so there's this great thing. You know why you tell people don't talk to the cops? Because they'll make an unwitting confession. Cops are trained to get a confession out of someone, if they can, even if the person doesn't mean to give it. That's what this is here. Death trout. Res judicata is the issue has already been adjudicated. That's what it means. So, sort of like double jeopardy. Double jeopardy applies to criminal things, but the civil counterpart of it is res judicata, which means a judge already resolved this, or a court has already resolved this issue. It can't be resolved a second time. It simply is a statement. Just because someone has a residence in one place does not mean they cannot be served at their business address. Yes, it does. That's literally what the rule says. That's the actual meaning of the rule. That's the rule. Mither and Emmer says, hold up there, Nick. I think you forgot to appreciate the irony of Melinda calling someone else's documents superfluous, irrelevant, and wordy. Yes. She says, there's no legal precedent for favoring a residence over a business address when the person has proceeded in a course of conduct as a business owner. You didn't sue the business. You didn't sue the business. You didn't sue the business. You sued the individual. You have to follow the rules for individual service because you didn't sue the business. That is why Defendant Moon's response is devoid of any case law that says knowledge of a residence eliminates the possibility of being served as a business address. You can't serve an individual at a business address unless apparently it's the only address that's discoverable. Further, defendant's objections to being served at a Florida residence are only further proof that the plaintiff did well in serving him in a business private mailbox. It's at this point where her dad should step into the room and say, "Are you winning, hun?" That's what should happen here. She's saying, the plaintiff did well in serving him. You didn't do well in serving him. That's why you're arguing over it right now. If you had done well in serving him, this argument would have been over. Pursuant to Florida Statute 48.0316A, because of the residence controversy. Okay. I gotta see this. Give me a second here. Okay, here we go. We're just going to take a look. I don't even know what it's going to say yet. We're talking about Florida Statute 48.0316A. Let's see what this says. I know I've looked at this before, but... Whoa. Oh my gosh. Terrible. Okay, it says, if the only address for a person to be served, which is discoverable through public records, is a private mailbox, a virtual office, or an executive office or mini-suite, substituted service may be made by leaving a copy of the process with the person in charge of the private mailbox, virtual office, or executive office or mini-suite, but only if the process server determines that the person to be served maintains a mailbox, virtual office, or an executive office or mini-suite at that location. So this is, what is this rule? Service of process generally. Okay. So, for purposes of this subsection, the term virtual office means an office that provides communication services such as telephone or facsimile services and address services without providing dedicated office space, and where all communications are routed through a common receptionist. The term executive office or mini-suite means an office that provides communication services such as telephone and facsimile services, a dedicated office space, and other supportive services, and where all communications are routed through a common receptionist. Okay, so let's see. There's a bunch of decisions on this, but let's see if we have anything specific to that section. Constructive service. Oh, God. This is not going to be a quick look. Service by mail. Private mailboxes, substituted service. I think that's the one we need here. Defendant corporation. The legislature did not provide a definition of the term private mailbox. Private mailbox at mailbox store was not the only address discoverable through public records for individual defendant, and thus limited liability company could not effect substitute service on the individual by leaving copy of summons and complaint with the person in charge of the mailbox store. Individual owned property in the same city where the mailbox store was located, for which he claimed a homestead exemption. Search of county appraiser's official website easily revealed individual's home address. An LLC successfully served individual at home address with its subsequent motion to show cause and for writ of bodily attachment. All right. So I want to point out that this case right here says the exact opposite of what Melinda is arguing, but only the exact opposite. Only the absolute exact opposite of what she's arguing. Good job, Melinda, you flipping moron. Okay. Defendant Moon insists that he is some sort of resident of the European Union, but does not clarify whether or not that is a dual resident arrangement or he is a fugitive from service. I guess those are the only two options. One has to seriously question why Mr. Moon might be in the European Union at all. Nope. Literally don't have to question it. You actually can just be there. Guys, if you go to the European Union right now, you could just go and no one can question it. And why he chose to go there after Plaintiff Scott began to take legal action against him for his outrageous internet conduct. Maybe it's because of you. Here's the funny thing. Even if it is, doesn't matter. Because those issues were resolved. Even still, Defendant Moon has provided absolutely no evidence whatsoever that he is actually a resident of the European Union. He repeatedly has made this claim but offers no exhibits or evidence whatsoever to support that claim. All you have to do is sue him at it. Just serve him at his mom's house. The court's begging you to just serve him at his mom's house. Why is this so hard? The judge laid it out. He flat out put it in the thing for you. You said he's got a residence in Pensacola. Just serve him there. He told you what to do. Couldn't have. If he'd written it any clearer, then he might have to recuse himself. Why don't you just serve him at his mom's house? If. Ah! I can't take it. Oh, hey, we've got a chat that comes out to 20 here that I didn't realize because it's 2:10. Loreddit Silver member says, my brother got in a drunk fight with an amateur MMA fighter. Ended up with almost $1 million in medical bills from life flights, etc. The fighter skipped town and hid on an oil rig from cops. When the fighter finally returned to town, he was killed by a man hired by a Saudi national. The Saudi had all charges dropped and returned to Saudi. The whole situation was weird. Holy shit. That's a wild outcome. Anyway, I don't know. I don't get it. If the argument, the whole thing for Melinda, now I think it's too late. When all this happened, all she had to say was, okay, Your Honor, can I please have permission to serve him at this Pensacola residence? That's it. And the judge says, yeah, go ahead. And you serve him at the Pensacola residence. And by the way, let's brain walk through this from an internet troll perspective, not just a legal analysis. If you've got an internet tough guy, Josh Moon is notorious internet tough guy, for example. You've got an internet tough guy who says, you can't touch me. I'm in Latvia or wherever. Okay? Stick with me on this. Prove it. I'm going to sue you at your voter registration residence in Pensacola. I'm going to serve you there. Now what Josh has to do is prove that he's not in Pensacola, Florida. What if Josh is in Pensacola, Florida and just shifted his sleep schedule ahead 7 hours? He actually works the night shift at a Denny's or something. Do you know how funny that is? If you point that out, and he has to defend it. He'd have to defend it. But what if he's not in the EU? What if he were in the States? The one way to not only win, but to prove him a fool would be to serve him at the address that he's supposed to be at. How are you this bad at this? How are you this bad? Okay. The plaintiff, on the other hand, has notated in many of her footnotes evidence that Defendant Moon publicly advertised that all legal service should go to his private mailbox. No legal service for Kiwi Farms. It is in good faith that Plaintiff Scott has acted, and on that regard presents further the reasons her case should not be dismissed. Terrible. Terrible. Defendant Moon, diversity of citizenship. Defendant Moon, by counsel, takes issue with the plaintiff not providing citizenship information for the Doe defendants. This argument is not sufficient to dismiss the case because the plaintiff is entitled under Rule 26 to discovery first in order to obtain the IP addresses of Doe defendants before a determination can be made. Unfortunately, you haven't served him. Evidence versus factual claim in a number... See, this is a terrible way to write a brief. This is a terrible way to write a brief, by the way. Remember what I said earlier? Notice what's not happening here. So this, diversity of citizenship, should have an introduction or an issue. Then it should have a rule about how diversity of citizenship is determined. And then it should have an analysis of the Does and this discovery thing. This discovery first thing should be the rule. You're entitled to discovery before dismissal for diversity of citizenship claims against anonymous defendants. Okay? That should be the rule. And then you should analyze the rule and apply the facts of this case. Say, well, these defendants, until I get the discovery, blah, 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 blah. She doesn't do that here. She just gives a paragraph. In a number of places, Defendant Moon, by counsel, seeks to fault the plaintiff's complaint and responses for lacking evidence. Asking for evidence in a complaint is not a legal standard of any federal district. Plaintiff Scott has properly pled facts and elements to sustain an IIED claim. No, you haven't. Not even close. That's the problem. IIED is a federal tort. Defendant by counsel claims that the plaintiff needs to cite a federal statute to bring an action in federal court for a tort. There's not legal basis for this argument. There is. Tort claims based on the restatements can be filed in federal courts. No, they cannot. No, they cannot. The federal courts apply the state courts' adoption of the restatements to case law. This is just not how this works. If you're making an IIED claim in the state of Virginia, in federal court in the state of Virginia, you have to apply the Virginia legal standard for IIED. That's what you have to do. To bring it as a federal claim and not a diversity jurisdiction claim, you have to have a federal statute. That's it. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Otherwise, it's a state law issue. This is 10th Amendment. Anything not given to the federal government is reserved to the states, including the enforcement of torts. And the only reason you get federal district courts involved is because of diversity jurisdiction. And when you do that, it's for the purposes of not prejudicing either party by having one party be the resident of the state and the other party not. But they apply state law. They apply the substantive state law to the claim. Elements of IIED. Defendant by counsel has stated that the restatements aren't even anything. There are 3 restatements of torts, and each restatement on each issue has to be adopted by the court in question. So in this case, a Virginia court has to adopt, the Virginia courts, I should say, through the appellate courts and then eventually the Supreme Court of Virginia, has to adopt first, second, or third restatement on IIED. If they've only adopted the first restatement, then you couldn't say, well, the third restatement says this, therefore I bring a federal claim. It doesn't work that way. Defended by counsel has stated the plaintiff did not allege in her complaint that she suffered emotional distress, but only anger and rage. Firstly, anger and rage are not barred as elements of emotional distress claims. No, but you didn't allege emotional distress. Secondly, the plaintiff stated emotional distress in the complaint. That's a legal conclusion. You have to show emotional distress through facts. Typically, if you talked to a lawyer, Melinda, they would have told you, go to a damn psychiatrist or therapist. Start proving the damage that you've suffered. Show that you've suffered damage. Did you miss work? Did you go to a doctor for stomach pains or headaches, migraine, stress-induced sicknesses? You have to establish the damage. It typically comes, the emotional distress in IIED typically has to manifest. It has to manifest a physical symptom. Because a judge in many, if not most states, is not there to make you feel better. They're there to compensate you for loss. Two very different things. Being mad is not an economic or pecuniary loss that the court can remedy. Court can't make you not mad. No matter how many orders the court gives, can't make you not mad. You might be not mad after the court awards you $20 million, but the court can't order you to not be mad. Therefore, they can't redress madness. They can only redress damages. They want Lawcat for likes. Lawcat is long gone, guys. He ran off the moment I put him down outside of the room. Sorry. We're 65 likes away. I can't be an alcoholic until then. What the plaintiff stated was extreme emotional distress, including anger and rage. Those are legal conclusions. Those are not facts. Those are not facts about emotional distress. Plaintiff Scott did not say that anger and rage were the only forms of emotional distress that she suffered. Keyword including. All of the specific evidentiary facts describing the types of emotional distress are for a hearing. Nope. Iqbal and Twombly. Melinda. Iqbal and Twombly state that you have to allege facts. You have to allege facts that lead to the legal conclusion for each element of each claim. Not for a hearing. You have to put them in the complaint. Again, Counsel Hardin is demanding evidentiary facts at the complaint stage when that is not a legal standard. No, he's just asking for any facts, and those facts could be evidence. You could have provided some evidentiary basis for your factual allegations, but you didn't. You just made a conclusion. You just said, I suffered emotional distress. That's a legal conclusion. You suffering emotional distress because the plaintiff caused it. Plaintiff caused me emotional distress. That's a legal conclusion. That has to be sussed out through a hearing process, through a trial. Okay. As long as the plaintiff pleads facts which make it plausible that the defendant is liable for the conduct alleged, it is sufficient to proceed to the discovery phase. But again, you have to plead the facts, not the conclusion. This is civil procedure, first semester of law school. You learn this. Defendant's counsel lacks standing. Defendant's counsel repeatedly makes arguments in defense of other litigants that he has not filed an appearance for. He names them as Wise County Department of Social Services and others. This court should strike from his response any statement that aims to defend parties for which he has not filed a notice of appearance. No. He's talking about what happened. He doesn't need to defend them. They've been dismissed out of the case. Does it say 1,000 on y'all's? It says 999 on mine. Oh, there it is. Just ticked over. Just ticked over. All right, here we go. we're gonna just put this thing down. See how this thing goes as a shot. This is gonna be awful. I know this is gonna be bad. It's a little bit better than expected, but not good. Not good as a shot. Don't do it. Oh, yuck. Don't take shots of that. Ugh. Ugh. All right, I'll explain how that tastes. Take go out in your backyard in the summertime. Dig up a clod of dirt. All right? Dirt with some grass on it. Preferably some wild grass with like some clover or something like that on there. Then what I want you to do is I want you to take that and inside and burn all the grass up into ashes. And then put that in a jar and then pour water in the jar. All right? Or pour rubbing alcohol in the jar too. That would work. And then you take a mesh strainer and you pour that out into a cup and you drink it. That's what that tasted like. Ugh. Blech. Ugh. That's fine for a sipping whiskey, but do not take shots of it. Oh, it's like in my forehead. Ugh. Let me put them on blast. This is a terrible waste of $110. That's not a good whiskey for $110. Silky Johnson, I probably could write off whiskey as a business expense, but I don't. You can get a better experience for less money with Laphroaig, with Talisker. Like, just get... It's 74% Talisker anyway. Just get a 10-year Talisker. It's better. It's a much better whiskey. It costs $40 less. Go do it. Go do that. Ugh. Ugh. I mean, it's not a bad whiskey. It's bad for a shot. Like, the shot is sticking with me. It's not a bad whiskey. I'm just saying that there are as good, if not better, peated, smoky whiskeys for way less money. Okay. Yeah. Why not write it off? I'm lazy. I don't keep the receipts. That's all. Gurgle those ashes and rubbing alcohol taste. Well, I mean, we can do a little bit of that. Should we do the gurgle test? I don't know if my noise gate will let the gurgling happen. That's better than a shot. That's way better than a shot. I'd gurgle that all day before I take another shot of it. All right, forum nonconvenience. Defendant's counsel makes an argument over changing the court of filing. It's obvious that the reason for this argument is to convenience his client. This is an argument made for his client's personal benefit. It provides no benefit to anyone else, public or private. Well, yeah, he's saying that it's an inconvenient forum for his client. Actually, it's an inconvenient forum for everybody. Except you. This is the funny thing about this. if Melinda is right and Josh actually lives in Pensacola and Kiwi Farms is in Pensacola and all the stuff she wants is in Pensacola, then the convenient forum is Florida, not Virginia. In no way should this case be heard in Virginia. The defendant's in Florida. The defendant's business is in Florida. The evidence is in Florida. All this stuff happened allegedly in Florida. The other witnesses may be in Florida. You don't know yet. But that's the convenient forum. Terrible. Personal jurisdiction. Defendant Moon by counsel takes issue with the plaintiff not providing a social worker's name and location to establish personal jurisdiction. Plaintiff does not need to provide either of these to establish personal jurisdiction because she made clear in her complaint and subsequent responses that the social worker worked for Wise County Department of Social Services. Wherefore, plaintiff reaffirms each and every statement she has made defending jurisdiction over defendant Moon in her prior response. $75,000 threshold requirement. Defendant Moon's claims about aggregation fail as a matter of law. Plaintiff has brought similar claims jointly against multiple defendants. This is sufficient to meet the $75,000 requirement. Further, the plaintiff denies that she has not made joint claims and claims of conspiracy against multiple defendants, which impart liability together. Those defendants were dismissed out. Those defendants were dismissed out. I think you've lost your $75,000 threshold requirement because I think you asked for $50,000. Gross. Summon and service. Defendant Moon, by counsel, also takes issue with the summons and service again. He repeats the same arguments which have already been addressed in the plaintiff's prior pleadings. The answer is the same. An omission of the court's name is not sufficient to invalidate the summons. Case law for the 4th District says otherwise. Did you guys catch it? Did you guys catch it? Did you catch this? I hope you caught it. Oh, shoot. We got a chat from Linda Marie. Says, have you ever seen the Jurassic World margarita guy running away from dinosaurs? That was the bar version. Also, please check your email for my email about a police officer. Thank you. Linda, I have not seen that, but thank you for the email. She just owned herself. Yes. Here, we'll talk about it. So let's look at this sentence. The answer is the same. An omission of the court's name is not sufficient to invalidate the summons. That's her position. An omission of the court's name is not sufficient to invalidate the summons. Case law for the 4th District says otherwise. You're right, Melinda. Case law for the 4th District does say otherwise. You're correct. There you go. Good job. Florida Statute 48.31, 6A does not say that private mailbox or virtual office must be the only discoverable address. It says if the only address for a person to be served which is discoverable through public records is a private mailbox virtual office. It does not say only discoverable address. It says only address for a person to be served, followed by which is discoverable. Look, if the only address for a person to be served which is discoverable is the same thing as an only discoverable address. There's a difference between the only discoverable address and only address for a person to be served, which is discoverable. That's the discoverable address, Melinda. This is not hard. This is... Someday I'm going to have a heart attack on stream. Even if Moon would have a residence in Pensacola, Florida, that does not mean this was the best route for Plaintiff Scott to serve him. Yes, it does. It not only means it's the best route, it means it's the only route. Defendant Moon, as evidenced by his own pleadings, could have made multiple objections to being served at his Pensacola, Florida address. Yes, he could. If you would have served him, he would have. But he doesn't need to. By serving him as a business, you didn't serve him as a business. You served him as an individual at a business address. At his private mailbox, this eliminates controversy and arguments about his residency. You didn't sue Kiwi Farms. You sued Joshua Moon. I know she's not listening, so it's like I'm repeating the same things and getting more and more annoyed about it, but she just doesn't get it. She hasn't sued the business. Paraplegal? Yeah, I think that's correct. The judge's own order, February 16th, says, if true, well, yes, if true, because the issue hasn't been adjudicated, because it doesn't need to. Therefore, Jones's order acknowledges a debate and controversy around residency. Nope. Not at all. The plaintiff's duty to serve the summons and complaint in a timely manner necessitates service at a place not involving residency controversy. As noted in several of Plaintiff Scott's pleadings, Defendant Moon advertised online that he should be served at that private mailbox and even told New Zealand law enforcement that this is where he is to be served, as noted in the plaintiff's proceedings. No, where Kiwi Farms is. They're different things. Two separate legal entities. Defendant Moon, by counsel, provides no explanation in his replies why he would try to mislead anyone about where to be served. Because he's not. He's not. You're just dumb. You're just stupid. Sorry, losing my temper. I will calm down. Section 230 immunity. CDA Section 230 was written for the purpose of protecting minors from obscene content on the internet. Nope. No. No. Nope. Courts expanded this protection to internet service providers who were passive hosts of information, lest they be sued into oblivion for what others posted. Fourth District removed this protection in Nemeth and Zaran for internet service providers who were highly involved in an integral part of their own websites. This criterion applies to Joshua Moon, who is highly involved in an integral part of the daily content that is posted on kiwifarms.net. No, it's only when his contributions are at question. And again, you're suing him. You're not suing Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms would have Section 230 immunity. Joshua Moon probably doesn't have Section 230 immunity for his own statements, but for the other people, like the John Does and stuff like that, he's immune from that. Therefore, immunity does not apply to him, and plaintiff reasserts her prior arguments in her response and memorandum of law citing Nemeth and Zaran. What is this? She doesn't cite anything. What are Nemeth and Zaran? Let's see if we can do this. Whoops. If she had any citation at all. Oh, Jesus. All right. All right, let's check this out. Taken together, these provisions bar state law plaintiffs from holding interactive computer service providers legally responsible for information created and developed by third parties. Blah, blah, blah. State law plaintiffs may hold liable the person who creates or develops unlawful content, but not the computer service provider who merely enables that content to be posted online. Further, the policies courts have generally accorded immunity a broad scope. blah, blah, blah. Nimitz does not dispute that ConsumerAffairs.com is an interactive computer service provider under the CDA. Nimitz contends is that ConsumerAffairs.com is also an information content provider as to the 20 posts and therefore cannot qualify for 230 immunity. In other words, Nimitz's argument is that its amended complaint pleads sufficient facts to show ConsumerAffairs.com is an information content provider for the purposes of denying statutory immunity to ConsumerAffairs.com at this stage in the proceedings. Our analysis of the sufficiency of Nimitz's pleading is informed by the Supreme Court's recent decision in Ashcroft v. Iqbal. As noted above, that's the Iqbal case I was talking about. Ultimately, a complaint must contain sufficient factual matter accepted as true. We must determine in a post-Iqbal context whether the facts pled by Nimitz as the application of CDA immunity make its claim that ConsumerAffairs.com is an information content provider merely possible, or whether Nimitz has nudged that claim across the line. Okay, let's see. Let's see what their conclusion is. Viewed in their best light, Nimitz's well-pled allegations allow us to infer no more than the mere possibility that Consumer Affairs was responsible for the creation or development of the allegedly defamatory content at issue. Nimitz has thus failed to nudge its claims that ConsumerAffairs.com is an information content provider for any of the 20 posts across the line from the conceivable to plausible. As a result, Consumer Affairs is entitled to 230 immunity, and the district court did not err by granting the motions to dismiss. Good job, you idiot. You cited a case that doesn't actually stand for the proposition you want, and the proposition that you want lost. It's literally the absolute worst type of case to cite. Use or abuse of private information in government databases. Defendant by counsel seeks to make the argument that the copying of public records is constitutionally protected. Of course it is. Of course it is. However, defendant by counsel fails to see that defendant Moon's behavior is not simply copying of public documents. Here again, defendant by counsel seeks to minimize the extent and true nature of defendant Moon's conduct. Defendant Moon has not simply copied public documents. He has distributed them as well. They're public documents, you dummy. He has used public documents for sadistic and unethical journalistic purposes in an effort to socially abuse the plaintiff. They're public. They're public. Public documents. You can't abuse them. You can distribute them as much as you want. They're public. He has demonstrated a relentless, sadistic, and malicious course of action against the plaintiff described in her complaint. He has done this in order to attempt to sabotage the plaintiff's finances, ostracize her in society, cause her injury, and intentionally cause emotional distress to the plaintiff. Supreme Court's rulings on the copying of public documents certainly did not extend to using the copying and distribution of public documents to exact a psychological attack, IIED, attack, on another person. No, that's why it's a tort. If their actions rise to the level of unreasonability and injury, then you have a tort. However, copying a public document and distributing it does not rise to that level. Almost ever. It's true. It's a true thing that someone says about you. It's a public document. Nothing defendant Moon has copied, distributed, or posted about the plaintiff online was done with concern for constitutional rights, freedom of the press, ethical journalism, and civilized norms of society. No, it's quite the opposite, I believe. So we've got a second argument section. I didn't know we left the first argument section, but apparently we left the first argument section. Now we're at the second one. So, just a second. I need to go get a chisel and a hammer and start bashing my teeth out of my mouth. Here before the court is a case that can determine whether or not it is legal to use the internet to conspire against and bring a psychological attack against another citizen of the United States. This court has the opportunity to use this case and set a precedent to stop social abuse by means of the internet. Defendant Moon has stated that this case cries out for the attention of the court to stop plaintiff from filing. The opposite is true. This case cries out for the attention of the courts to stop a social injustice against the plaintiff. The plaintiff is prepared to present evidence, subpoena documents, and call witnesses that demonstrate to any reasonable person that Mr. Moon's actions rise to the level of insensitivity to a civilized society. That's not the legal standard. That's not the legal standard for IIED. It's not the legal standard. Mr. Moon's course of conduct toward the plaintiff is glaringly uncivil, and it takes only a hearing to demonstrate that. Sorry, you don't get a hearing without putting it in the complaint. The federal rules and case law of the United States of America are for the purpose of one goal, justice. Case should not be resolved on how defendants can skirt their way out of accountability by evading service and harping on pro se litigants' legal weaknesses. Why would you admit you have a legal weakness? Legal weaknesses. Look, they shouldn't be just making fun of my weak case. Cases should be decided upon what is the best route to justice. This case should not be dismissed for any of the reasons defendant Moon by counsel states. Plaintiff is not asking this court to be an advocate for pro se litigants. Yes, you are. The plaintiff urges that this court should look closely at the case law and pleadings before it, which largely support this case moving forward to discovery and a hearing. Look, Melinda, if the court looks closely at the case law and pleadings, you lose. You lose. That's it. I don't. I'm done. I'm done with that. I don't know what else to say. That is the I want to point out, guys, that Melinda thinks she is more skilled at law than lawyers and judges. Okay? I want to point that out. This is not someone who's like, I don't really know what I'm doing, trying my best. This is someone who says lawyers and judges don't know the answers. They don't know what they're talking about. She is routinely blown out of court over and over and over again. Year after year, case after case, she is thrown out of court. And her go-to is that lawyers and judges don't know what they're talking about when they address her issues, and they tell her, like, this service issue is the dumbest thing on the planet. Because, okay, here's your hypothetical. You're a pro se litigant. You can't afford a lawyer or whatever. So you're like, I've got to get my remedy, though. I'm going to do this on my own. And you sue someone and you serve an address. And then someone says, hey, this needs to be undone because this isn't the proper address. This isn't the proper address. In fact, there's this alternative address. And that would be the proper address. Your solution is you have two options here. You can say, no, this is the proper address. Or you can say, oh, I served the wrong address. Let me serve the right one. That's it. There you go. What do you choose? Now, mind you, you've already served the other address. So if you subsequently serve a different address, it doesn't undo the service of the first one. So if the first one happens to be right, then you have actually already served them. If the first one happens to be wrong and you serve the second one and that one's right, it's like, okay, let me analogize it this way. If you have a friend who says, I want a candy bar. You're like, man, I want I bet he wants a Snickers. Okay? And you go to the vending machine and you put in a quarter and actually, you don't put in a quarter. The government comes in and puts in a quarter for you because you're poor. And you press the button for a Snickers. And you take it out of the Snickers. And on your way back, your friend's girlfriend says, hey, what'd you get him? And you're like, oh, I got him a Snickers bar. I think he likes these. And she says, actually, what he really likes is Reese's peanut butter cups because only degenerates like Snickers and everybody likes Reese's. You go, oh. So then you go back to the vending machine and you have the government put another quarter in and you punch the Reese's peanut butter cups and you get that instead. And then you bring both to your friend. Now, maybe he likes the Snickers or maybe he likes the Reese's. It doesn't matter because you have both and you paid for neither. Win-win. You've won. You've got it. You covered your bases. You thought it was Snickers. His girlfriend says Reese's. You just got both and you didn't pay for either one. Melinda could have had this. All she had to do was ask the court for permission. Or not even ask the court for permission. Just filed for another summons to go to his Pensacola address. And then Josh would be in a real pickle at that point. Because then Josh would have to prove he's not at that address that his voter registration card says. That gets more complicated. It's not so simple. Just dumb. Just really, really dumb. All right, let me do these chats and then we're going to wrap up the show and go to Twitch for a little bit, I guess. Okay, anonymous, which we all know that any anonymous donation is actually me donating to myself. I love that the response to Governor Abbott lifting all COVID restrictions is people complaining that they're more at risk and have to keep wearing masks and social distancing. You know, the thing that they're all doing anyways. How do these people even exist? Exactly. No, you don't need the government to tell you to social distance. You don't need that. If she did it properly, do I think she has a chance? No. No, not at all. But yeah, wearing a mask and social distancing, you don't need a governor to tell you to do that. You can just do it at any point in time. You stay 6 feet away from people. People with social anxiety disorder do this every day of their lives without an order. Hated 7 Days to Die says, hey, I was told a way to support locals without a credit or debit card. Download the app and purchase coins through the app Since it uses your Google Play account, you can charge it with PayPal and such. Kudos to the locals support team. Hey, cool. That works. They also told me that we can probably work out a way to deliver access to people who pay through PayPal or other means. I don't know how that'll work, but they're working on other payment methods, but they don't have a timeline. Wolfgang Deo says, "Oh God, thank you for being late, Nick. I made a bet you would be late, and I saw the time coming, and yes, so glad, much happy, wow. Oh, you have a place to show off insufferable idiots? I don't like that block function. MK, you sucker." Okay. Primal, oh, Mr. K, I'm guessing is what he's saying. Prima Facial says, Mr. Y Voice, "Welcome home, Drex. What can I get you? A dinner, a bath, or maybe me?" Ooh. Ty Beard. I don't know if that's actually Ty Beard. In Trump voice. "You see, Nick Rekieta, favorite whiskey is Fireball, Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, and coffee-flavored whiskeys. All terrific whiskeys. Wonderful. Nick loves them. Nick loves them. He likes to get the little bottles. The little bottles. He's a little guy. Little bottles of these whiskeys. Any contradiction is a lie. All lies, just like Joe Biden. Wrong. Wrong." Wolfgang says, "Are those slap punches? I don't care if he wins. He lost when he started slapping another man. Sheesh. Little wuss. Thinking winning is all a man is. You do not slap punch, you punch like a man." Oh, he threw punches. That slap was a beautiful distraction. Katashi says, "Dude, it's damn near midnight for me. What are you doing with your life?" A show. What are you doing with your life? Do people not work third shift? I just work third shift, buddy. Malik says, "Pulled my card from Patreon. You've got me on locals now, sir. Was going to wait, but my next payment cycle was coming up, and Patreon doesn't get to have any more of my money." Hey, awesome, Malik. Let me know if you need Discord access fixed up. Let me know if you need that. Kermit the Frog says, "Yo, the bitches love me because I'm cuddly and green. Why they really love me is because I can go from flaccid to erect in a moment's notice. I just whip out my Black Mamba Johnson when it's party time. My giant wang is used as a limbo pole. Then they ride it." Disgusting. Kaiser Salesman says, "The Kaiser air cooling Blatz. The Jerrys swore by these, but most importantly, it was the forefront of 1942 technology. 3 settings, der Low, Blitzkrieg, and der Friesen mein Heine off. You don't know love till you've been kissed by the cool lips of a Kaiser." So there you go. Malik Foxen says, "YouTube silenced me, so I'll say it here. She's fucking retarded, bro. Fuck you, Susan." Wolfgang Deo says, "Only discoverable address. Melinda's issue is that 2 + 2 does equal 100, and 10 + 10 equals 4. If the 110 in these instances are binary, if it's all in decimal, anyone saying they are true statements needs to drink whatever crap you've been drinking." Porsky says, "Is it a movie night or game night? If it's a game night, first off, ha! Suck it, Baneling. Second, Baneling really wants you to play Risk of Rain 2. If it's a movie night, disregard this message. Also, VA reading My Immortal fanfic on Chillstream sometime? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Technically, it's a video game night. I'm not sure if I'm up for a video game, but I may be up for a movie. I know Angry Baneling loves Risk of Rain. I'm trying to decide. I think I'm getting a little bit sick. I feel it in my throat and in my balls. Jordan Jones says, "We're both on time for your stream for a change." Speedy 1993 says, "Any updates on the Vic case?" No. I'll politely say it again. As soon as there's an update in the Vic case, you guys will know. You will know. Updates in the Vic case will be released on Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Central Time, if they're going to happen, they have to be within their own rules under normal circumstances. They have 9 months from September 22nd of 2020 to answer, to produce their opinion under normal circumstances. We're not in normal circumstances. There's been a COVID lockdown. Maybe you've heard of it. It affected greatly all courts in the United States. It could very well be longer than 9 months, and they would be fine because they're the ones who enforce their rules. I don't mean to be rude on this, but I've covered this so many times. But as soon as the court issues a ruling, I will cover it. No matter what the ruling is, I will cover it. There won't be an update until the ruling. It's just how it is. I don't know how to say it any other way. Wolfgang Deo says, drink the ectoplasm milk, you bigot. Random NPC No 3 says, uncivil says he hates, not that he hates himself. Breck Nichols says, happy Texas Independence Day, March 2nd, 1836. Automata says, WTF camp comes in winter now. Since when? Since Minnesota, buddy. Super Iron Bob says, how often will Patreon supporters have to dilate after transitioning? At least 2 times a week. The Knoll Edge says, when can we get another tie stream? As soon as he and I can work it out. We were talking about it a little bit today, but it's coming. Padre Speak says, please make outro song FAFO by Loza Alexander. Chat, what can we raise for this? I don't want to do that. I don't have permission to use that song. Polish says, thanks for covering reality. Trump won. Joseph says, Kermit, thank you very much. Skeet Neat says, the Kermit thing is getting old, Nick. It's funny the first time, but not anymore. People who keep suggesting that should get Minecrafted unironically. Skeet Neat's calling out the chat. Rude. The Fuzzy Creature says, 2021 Fulmer Cup Championships, everybody. F-Name L-Name says, Kermit voice, that's just like your opinion, man. The Gray One says, evening, Nick. Hope you're well tonight. Just got back from work and nearly lost an eye. Good news is everything will be fine, but today sucked. At least I'm able to look forward to the show and relax. You look forward with your eye. I like that you did that. 200 Watt Studio says, the man coming out of the stall was not carrying a full beer. It was a urine sample, Nikki. Also, can I step out of this paper bag now? No. Thermasius 1980 says, the mods are doing the Lord's work tonight. You don't pay them enough? No, I don't, and I won't ever. Frisky Django says, Gib Blue Wrench, and so I can do nothing with it. Blaine 20 says, have you played Nioh 2 action RPG? It looks really good. Might be good for streaming on Twitch. No, I have not. Space Force Commander says, gurgle those ashes and rubbing alcohol taste. Congrats, welcome to the Alcoholics Club. There's no privilege but Scotch privilege. And then he says, Space Force Commander says, you earned the 10 and more. Thoughts on Jefferson Reserve? I haven't had it. I'll find some. Nick Naylor says, are we going to get disco access on only locals? Yes. I just have to figure out how to do it. But yes. Bad Dragonite says, dude should have just invoked preemptive self-defense. And Othamer says, Nick, will you cover Vic updates? Very unclear. No. No, I never will. I won't. I won't ever do it. All right. There we go, guys. That's what I've got for the evening. I think I'm really, really tired. I think we're going to do a movie night tonight on Twitch. There's a lot of movies. I'm not quite sure which one we're going to do. Maybe we'll do Death Sport. Been highly requested. But wait, no. We're going to do Rushmore. Rushmore is the movie tonight. Don't even at me. Rushmore is the movie tonight. That's what we're going to do. Music and Fiction says, as Kermit, Skeetney can swallow my zong. There you go. Seriously, who is Vic? Magoose, he's a guy named Vic Mignogna. He's an anime voice actor. He's a friend of mine nowadays. And he was falsely accused of inappropriate activity back in 2019. I've been covering the case ever since, and it's a big thing. It's a big part of this channel, actually. So, all right, guys, we're gonna watch Rushmore tonight. I haven't seen it in a long time. I'll see you over on Twitch in a few minutes if you want. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Peace. Oh, wait. Bad Dragonite says, game I suggest playing sometime, The Long Dark. It's a fairly realistic survival game based on a horrible post-apocalyptic winter landscape, aka a normal Minnesota January. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Laphroaig. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the